training and kind of talk about my check ride with that. So with the instrument check ride, we did the ground first, which was roughly 2.5 hours. We basically went through everything, standard stuff that you go over in a ground for instrument. And then after the ground, we went out to the plane, did the pre-flight, and went to the run-up area, and we simulated getting a clearance. We simulated like we were taxiing for an IFR departure and simulating actual IFR conditions. So once the DP would tell me that we were in the clouds, once we took off, I'd put my foggles on, turn the pitot heat on, and just simulate that. So the first approach, the overall flight plan, we did the North Valley Rally in Phoenix, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the Phoenix area, the North Valley Rally consists of 3 different airports. It consists of the Scottsdale Airport, the Deer Valley Airport, and the Glendale Airport. So those are the 3 airports where I did my approaches at for this check ride. Starting off first, we went to the Scottsdale Airport. At the Scottsdale Airport, we did the DME Alpha approach, and that approach was a circling land. So we circled the land runway 21 at Scottsdale. That approach went fine. Nothing wrong on that one. We landed, took off, and we proceeded, after we departed from Scottsdale, we proceeded to go to the northeast practice area to do our unusual attitudes. And during the check ride, we were talking to Phoenix Approach, and they were giving us clearances for all these practice approaches. We went to the northeast practice area and we did our unusual attitudes exercises there. And then after that, we did a hold. It was a direct entry hold for the RNAV 25 left into the Deer Valley Airport. So that was the second approach we did. So we did a lap in the hold, and then as we proceeded to descend down for the approach, we then simulated a WASP failure, an autopilot failure, and a partial panel failure. So I was doing it with the RNAV 25 left into Deer Valley. That one we had a partial panel failure, a WASP failure, and an autopilot failure. And for those of you who are not familiar with the RNAV 25 left in the Deer Valley, it's a pretty long approach. So it seems like an eternity with no autopilot and partial panel. But that went just fine. We corrected our minimums, heightened them because we didn't have WAS, and did that approach no problems. Landed at Deer Valley, and then we departed Deer Valley, runway 25 left, west-ish, a little west-northwest. And we just did some delay vectors in the area there, and just as I was setting up for the Glendale RNAV 19 approach. So as we're doing delay vectors, I'm setting up the approach in the GPS, I'm briefing the approach, doing all my checklists, and when I'm ready to go, I call up Phoenix Approach on the radio and tell them I was ready to rock and roll. And so then we did that approach, the RNAV 19 approach. Now that approach, we did have WAS and we did have autopilot, and we had full panels. So that approach was considered our precision approach because it has LPV minimums. And that approach went just fine. We didn't land at Glendale. We executed the missed approach procedure, and the missed approach procedure kind of takes you back to the Goodyear area. So once we got back to the Goodyear area, we just landed at Goodyear and runway 21. Landed back at Goodyear, no problems, and taxied back to parking, and then that was it, mainly. So that was my instrument check ride in a nutshell. I've already started my commercial training. I've done here at United Aviation Academy, they send you to a facility, a third party, to do some upset recovery training, which is really fun. I'll do a video on that soon. And I'll start doing more videos more consistently throughout my commercial training. I kind of put this in the back burner for my instrument just because I was just so busy doing, studying and flying and stuff like that. But this one, I'm going to do my best to keep up with the commercial training. I'll also put out some videos maybe on some new airports that I've been to, just to talk about some cool things that I've seen flying and different airports that I've been to, an update on that. So I'm definitely gonna have some more videos out for you guys to enjoy. If you do have any questions about my instrument training or my commercial training so far, throw a comment down and I will do my best to go through and answer as many as I can. Okay guys, thanks for listening and have a good one. I'll see you next time.